Hey, True Believers England team here. Another open Monday, whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. I thought it would be cool to start off, though, reading some of these comments and such that I got over the past, what's it been, about 10 days or so since I last did this. Hello to Hillam. Thank you for showing up there. I know I used to actually, I used to actually do this by hand, and I would just write everything out and everything. But I thought, you know what? If you're here and I'm reading your comment, you even have a chance to respond. So what the hell? Let's get right on into this. Going all the way back. Yeah, I maybe have to do this like every 7 days because there's a lot of stuff here, including, sorry, gang, but I'm not. I can't read an entire book. But okay, let's start off with the last comments. With Glenzer saying comic book comments and other geek stories deserve a comment. Not enough space here, and I always do ask, please leave this when this is done. Please share this out. Help the algorithm, help the channel. I'm trying to get the trend where the subs and the views are going up instead of down. Let's see. Resistance of Publishing is talking about something we talked about. The message over story will not stop. I was looking into what companies are planning for pop culture, art, entertainment, etc., and they plan to double down on the message over story crap. They are planning to go harder in the paint with all this propaganda. There is a backlash, though. It's almost like it was with OGCG. I'm seeing a backlash, and more importantly, I'm seeing a backlash with dollars. The whole go woke, get broke doesn't always work, but I'm actually seeing some. I don't know how long it would last. I would not think it's going to end, though. Probably not within the next 5 or 6 years. Okay, let's see. Next up, I will say, I still say sacrificing twiddles to the YouTube gods may raise views. Yes, it would, but it would end my marriage. I don't know which one I would prefer. Zach saying this is actually, the Reed Richards, Mary Sue video where we talk about the sister. This is actually the worst issue Slott has written that I've read, and his whole making Reed hate his dad shtick completely flies in the face of Hickman's run. I didn't care for it. I wanted to because I was one of the people who were cheerleaders. I was a cheerleader for his early issues on this run of Fantastic Four. I thought he was actually writing a pretty decent story, but he tanked it. Glenzer says half sister said with the choppier spaceship caused crappy writing because Reed would have known about this and the effect that it would have because he is a scientist. Yeah, there's a lot of shitty writing these days where they don't seem to know the character, hence the Captain America book. Let's see. Tyrus Flare is better. I have no idea what that means, but thank you, Anthony Douglas. I put a message on my own, just saying, aren't I putting the message first when I make these kind of videos? Crypto Comics says he wrote a strong, angry black woman. I thought it was an accurate portrayal, says Crypto Comics. Well, I've dated a few. Fun read for Red Sonja. It is, and it's a really cool video. Check it out. Kind of tear into the first appearance of Red Sonja. Perfect example of when the lunatics run the asylum. That's the comic book industry right now as well. Good stuff. Thank you. Now, here's the thing. I love getting comments. I really do. But this guy copied, and I appreciate it because it helps the algorithm, but I can't read this back, kid. He basically copied and pasted a whole bunch of quotes. Social issues. I try to get in the background or underlying a plot, but never to the point of letting interfere with a story or hitting the reader over the head, says Stan Lee, when I was talking about how they want to write Captain America as a person who does not love America. They're going to make it that way in the movie. Captain America doesn't love America. I don't get I just don't understand it. I mean, Captain America is my favorite Marvel comic hero. Has been probably since the late 80s. Not late 80s, but or mid to early 80s. But the thing is that he's been dead since he got shot in the head. He's never been back. And I would actually say he's been gone, like Captain America's gone since issue #1 of Civil War. That was whatever issue came out that had Captain America right before that first issue of Civil War. That was the last Captain America appearance. Let's see. How did you feel about the Senate subcommittee hearings? Did you know what? This is its own video I'm going to do, because not only did he do the quotes, but this guy, Bat-Kid, did this over and over. I mean, just it's copy and paste stuff all over the place. Thank you very much. This is the kind of thing I mean, I'm asking for comments. Please put them in. More words help. But yeah, this is I was like, oh my gosh, this is freaking, what do they call it? TLDR. So Wraith says Captain America isn't about politics. He's about the American people. He should never be shown as favoring one party or the other. I always figure Captain America he should be written as the world's greatest constitutionalist. He believes in the individual, because that's what America is all about, that you can govern yourself. And it starts with you, and it goes to your family, and then your community, and then your town, your city, your state, your community or county, your state, and so forth and so on, all the way up to, and the last one would be the federal government. Whoops, hit the light. But he would believe in the individual first. Also on the Captain America, Eric says, it's starting to look more and more, like I said, the first 10 years of the MCU was there to build a war chest so that they could spend the next 10 years telling the stories they really want to tell, but no one would watch. And they are counting on people at this point, come on, to be too invested in the MCU to quit now. I see a lot of people jumping ship. I agree with them, though. I myself have even, I'm an easy sell, but I find myself wanting to pull away a little bit even these days. El Capu #1 says, I agree 100% with you. That is a smart move, sir. I am usually right. Just ask my wife. She'll tell you. No, she won't. Into Disguise says they trashed him for years talking about Captain America, and they're just running out of things to do with them. Murder, a secret Hydra agent, etc., etc. Their hatred for Captain America runs deep in those who follow any sort of identity politics. He is a strong white Christian heterosexual male who loves America and all it stands for. Hits almost every check mark of the things that they hate. Do you think that modern day, because think about what Eric just said, modern day in the first Avengers film, he's basically a god. Captain America responds, there's only one God, ma'am, and he doesn't dress like that. Captain America, even in the movies, played by Chris, I don't want to play a patriotic Captain America anymore. What's his name? I forget his last name. Sarandon. Do you think that he would play him as Christian as he did? Would he say that line now? Austin P says, I wonder what the political tendencies of the people who grew up in the Depression era, Queens, New York, because that's what Cap grew up around. Yeah, you're right. Now, Jack Kirby said that everybody in that neighborhood, everybody in that neighborhood voted Democrat because they were poor, and poor people voted Democrat. I'm thinking, wait a second, really? Is that the way they were back then? But hey, he lived it. I didn't. Let's see. Current MCU, says Glenzer, equals moronic cinematic universe. Tragic considering how well it started. That's pretty much true. I think if one of the ways they could just tighten up the scripts and make it better. Imagine if Doctor Strange steered more towards the last one, steered more towards those horror elements and left out the campy jokes. I mean, it really was a horror film waiting to happen. Chris Evans, thank you, Jay Lucien. I had a brain fart. So talking about Stargirl, I did the comic book origin of Stargirl. Stargirl old-fashioned storytelling made new. And it really is. If you ever get a chance to read the first appearance of Courtney Whitmore, you're going to enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Watch the video, please. It needs the views. But in a disguise saying, never knew her origin story before. Thought she was Captain America's sister or cousin. Nope, but she is a very fun character created by Jeff Johns out of a tragedy. As a matter of fact, I explain it in the video exactly what tragedy it was and how she came about because of it. So please, once again, after you watch this, check out some of the comic book origins. Definitely check out that Stargirl. I think you'll enjoy it. Glenzer about the Red Sonja, Bronze Age excellence. And yes, sir, it was. That was also the time where Sonja was sexually assaulted, and she made a vow. It was a strange vow. I don't hate the fact that they got rid of it because it just doesn't make sense, because she got sexually assaulted, but then said that no man can be with her who could not beat her. So it seemed as if she wanted to recreate what should have been the most traumatic moment of her life in order to find a lover. It just, it never made sense to me. So if they retconned, I heard they, excuse me, I heard they retconned that, and that's not a bad idea. Excuse me again. I remember Joss Whedon commentary on Avengers where he put Cap's line, "There's only one God," and I'm sure he doesn't dress like that because he knew Cap would say that, even though Whedon is an atheist. And that, my friends, is what I'm talking about. Modern day creators, especially comic book writers, do not do that. Joss Whedon, at least for that moment, knew that he had to write in the voice of Captain America, not in the voice of Joss Whedon. You're not going to find that in modern day comic book writers too much. As a matter of fact, too many of them take pride in the fact that they're not going to do that. Glenzer is also saying, every time I hear Starman, I thought of Jeff Bridges, and I have to watch that movie again. Do so, by the way. It's a very good film. Hollywood entertainment is run by Marxists, says Mr. DC Comics. I don't think you'll get too many people disagreeing with that. Michael Hart says, this is what DC Comics, superhero comics should be like, really. And Jack's leather jacket has the cramps on it. Yes, it does. That's the previous Starman who gives her the cosmic rod. And he's got a leather jacket with a whole bunch of vintage pens and everything on it. Once again, I cannot oversell this comic. I can't oversell the videos because, you know, awesome. Alrighty, so Jim Sorensen said, wow, I think I missed this one on the first time through. Well, thank you for watching it that time. I certainly appreciate it. On the Red Sonja, Jim says, the only thing that drove me crazy about old Conan comics was the names. Yeah, sometimes they could get a little bit goofy would be the right word. I want this comic. I do, sir, also. Except for I know that if I ever got it, I would just sell it unless I had a Stargirl statue to go next to it. Hello to MJ, who just saying good night. All right, good night. Have a good night, man. Sweet dreams. Stay safe and all. So about the Lord of the Rings, the medication for insomnia. By the way, why is it that I thought of that and not Board of the Rings? Board of the Rings. That would have covered everything I needed to say. I'm going to change the title. Board of the Rings. I can't write titles. I'm a horrible person for writing titles. Board of the Rings. That's all it needed to be. 3 words. Board of the Rings. Wait, that's not 3 words. Anyway, MK says, I wonder if Zach has watched. He's a big LOTR fan. That's Richard, Diversity in Comics. I know he said he wasn't looking forward to it. Nobody was. Very different and off-source material, though I could bear to watch this over twerking She-Hulk. But then then the whole I'm female, thus better than men, so watch trope is kind of old already. I agree with Dalton. They made Galadriel freaking Xena. She's already super powerful and wise. But next year, Peter Jackson is coming out with a tie-in prequel anime movie, and that sounds very nice. I would love to see it. I like Peter Jackson. I've liked Peter Jackson since I saw Meet the Feebles. And what was that? Not Dead World. Dead Alive, his zombie movie. Once I saw the zombie movie, definitely I was in. Feebles kind of skeeved me out a little bit. I've been getting into the Levitt's Losh run from the 80s. So good. That should be capitalized. I am a huge Legion of Superheroes fan. I've been reading them religiously since I was 4 years old. Grabbing every copy, and then, of course, when we found a comic book shop. I've never missed an issue right up until Brian Michael Bendis grabbed a hold of it, because that's not Legion of Superheroes. But the 80s and the 90s, to me, actually, that is I love that run too. I can't say it's my favorite though, because the late 70s, early 80s is probably the best. I would say from about 200 to 312 is probably the greatest run of Legion. Why do I keep thinking call it's Brain Dead? No, actually, it might be. I know it had a couple of titles. When I found it, it was Dead Alive, but it is free. It's one of the craziest zombie movies you'll ever see. Of course, the She-Hulk, the I'm female, thus better than. Look, I wish I did have at least the reach I used to have when I first started, because I would love to start a movement and all we have to do is nothing. This is the movement here. Think about this. Maybe you get on board with it. Maybe you share it out, but do nothing. Right now, everybody's going nutso over the Ariel in the Little Mermaid trailer. And let's get one thing straight. That girl is talented. She has a freaking amazing voice. I think you're lying to yourself if you say different. She is just a beautiful girl, beautiful singer, but no way in hell any creature that stays that far under the water is going to need that much melanoma. And it's a Norwegian fable. Why don't I have nothing again? I loved Moana. I loved what was the other one? I'm almost home. Princess and the Frog. I don't care about, nobody cares. Who freaking cares about race anymore? Except for maybe a few idiots and a whole shit ton of people on Twitter. All the Democrats. Sorry for if you vote Democrat. All the idiots, the Twidiots. They're the ones that care. Who freaking cares anymore? Make an African fable. Teach us something we don't know. That would be really, really cool. But now the race swapping is getting old. It really is. But the thing is I believe what a lot of people are saying is that this is part of their marketing now, because at the very least we're talking about it. And yeah, I mean that's part of it. And I would love to start a movement that just stops talking about it. Go figure. But I know that won't happen, because talking about it gets clicks. Let's see. Extreme Movie Show. Not even 5 minutes in, and I'm it's really bad, like Bullet Train bad. I haven't seen Bullet Train. Insulting to Free's opinions on Amazon and such. If there's any fan base that could pull the "we did it first," it's LOTR, and they really crapped on it. From what I understand, of course, thanks, Rob. From what I understand, they didn't have the rights, so they kind of made a fanfic. But still, you know what? They could have done it as close to the original as possible. They didn't have to do what they did. They set out to make woke product and then call us racist for not liking it. While, hey, they race swapped some characters in that Game of Thrones. Anybody hating Game of Thrones? No hands are up. That show is freaking awesome. That show is pretty badass. Let's see. An advice from John Buscema: prefer be professional men than be opinionated men. You will be judged by your character as a professional, says Cartoons and Comics. And yeah, I mean, even that one quote from Lee, he says, if I put in any kind of social message or anything, it's going to be in the background. It's going to be the buzz you hear as you're reading the actual story. I haven't seen Bullet Train Mata Nui. I do know that my friend Rob, that runs the Extreme Movie Show, pretty much hates everything. He also says Dalton nailed it. Dalton really wanted to go off on Lord of the Rings, and he did. I gave him his time to speak, but I watched the first 15 minutes, I guess. I fell asleep, and then I woke up and watched the last 15 minutes. I have no desire to go back. I have no desire to continue, even though I'm pretty sure I'd probably get views if I did a review of it every time it came on. But that would mean I'd have to watch that shit. I don't know if I get enough super chats to do that crap. Let's see. What I hate about Disney animation says in a disguise. Isn't it kind of funny? I do a reading comments and I read your comments. What I hate about Disney animation is that there's nothing new recycling the stories with the CG updates. Yeah, I agree. A lot of times there's nothing new to the story, and what they do put in new is usually bad. There are a couple of good remakes. I know everybody is on the hate all of them train. I do think there's a couple of good remakes. For one, you got actually my favorites probably involve the same character. I am one of the few people in this town that actually enjoyed Cruella. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it because it told its own tale. It did not try to be 101 Dalmatians, but live action. And the one that did with Glenn Close 20 years ago was actually pretty good. And she freaking nailed it. I also liked The Jungle Book, and I liked Dumbo, and I liked, there was another one. Well, actually, no, I would have to think about it. But those are the ones I really enjoyed. The rest of them, they're just off. They're just so off now. Maranya saying modern media is now using race and alphabet as a shield against any kind of justified criticism. If people say X is bad, they are accused of being bigoted. You know what I say? I say, sir, you are a racist for not letting me criticize somebody. Black people can take it. Gay people can take it. And often do. Why do these people believe that anyone who is not white can't take criticism? That to me is racist. All right, Cole Mortimer. By the way, Cole Mortimer's been with this channel forever and a day, since the very beginning. I don't see him much on like in the chats and everything, but always commenting, and I certainly appreciate it. It's pretty bad when your favorite part of the show was the nap you took. Yeah, that in all honesty, it was. And as a deep fan, I love Dalton's take here. I really think you two work well in this, and you can explain the normal side, and he can represent the dedicated fan side. Try not to push his take down. He actually makes your show better. That contrast between you two, your two takes are key. He could show normies more why it does not fit the lore, and you could show us dedicated fans how someone who just wants to watch and have fun would take it. And yeah, that is our dichotomy. That is our the way we work together on the Lord of the Rings. As a matter of fact, on a lot of stuff that we've been reviewing, I've gotten more than a couple of comments that say that you guys tend to like mine and Dalton's movie reviews. You may not get a lot of lore nerding out things, but there is value to those who have that take and those who are like you, but curious about how it might fit the lore. I will also say this. I had zero interest in Lord of the Rings Ring of Power, and I had -0 interest in doing a review. Dalton talked me into it. So what he's saying is I really did, and I think he's absolutely right. I tried to rush through it. I was like, God, I don't want to do this shit. I don't want to. And so I think he's right that I may have stepped on Dalton a little bit on that, and I apologize. I know he got his point out somewhere around here. If he ever pops on, by all means, let him tell you where to go find a 100%. But if it feels like I was crushing Dalton's take a little bit to hurry along, that's because that's exactly what I was doing, and that's on me. I apologize, Dalton. You deserve better. Someday I may see the show. Wraith, I do not know why you would even do that, but good luck to you. Let me get a couple here. Oh, actually, hold on just a sec. I'll be right back. All right. Woo! Sorry about that, gang. Just when I came over here, I forgot to bring the drinks, and when I'm talking so much. I think the Princess and the Frog is the correct way of race swapping classic fables. Changed setting. Yeah, it was her own tale. It was actually really good. And by the way, something I will agree with Dalton on 100% is one of the greatest villains song. What was it? Friends on the Other Side, I believe it was called. Great freaking song. Loved it. What is the last original Disney show? Moana. Really, was it? I didn't like Legion Lost. Legion of Superheroes is not supposed to be perpetually depressing. Yeah, I could take that. Eloise says, I don't hate the House of the Dragons, but I dislike unnecessary changes very much. I'm going to skip forward to catch up with you guys here. Austin is saying, these fairy tales have been remade 1,000 times throughout the century. Disney just remaking their own version with woke stuff added. And that's the way it seems to be. Yeah. The bird is unkillable, by the way. Did anyone who saw criticized being, did anyone saw Cruella being criticized by race swap? No, of course not. I didn't think Old Man Stanley is right. Everything is in the background. Nobody cared for it. Well, it goes to saying, and you get a lot of people saying this, that you know, politics have always been in comics, and they have. But with exception, of course, the politics was in the background so you can enjoy the story and maybe learn a lesson. I'm going to teach you. What was that? And maybe you'll learn a thing or two. You'll have fun now with me and all my gang. Yeah, Fat Albert. Fat Albert was all about learning a message. But you know what? It was fun while you watch the cartoon. You learn things like don't bully people. You learn things like, you know, don't steal. Don't bully people. You learn that, of course, racism is bad and how to freaking properly mix a drink with a roofie in it. There was a lot of good lessons in those cartoons. All right. Austin P says, I think the only variant cover I've ever bought, and this is have variant and ratio comic book covers run their course. I think the only variant cover I ever bought was the Greg Capullo variant of Detective Comics 1000. There is no such thing, sir. But I love the fact that he also says, otherwise known as Detective Comics Volume 3, Issue 66. All righty. Yes, sir. That is exactly it. There is no Detective Comics 1000 because Jim Lee and frickin' damn Dudio screwed it up. Think about this, gang. We were going to see a Detective Comics 1000. We were going to see an Action Comics 1000. A legitimate Action Comics 1000. We never will. We never will. Maybe some of you younger people, if you're still in your 20s, maybe you'll make it if they don't get up and keep rebooting it every 5 seconds. But we were legitimately going to get it. And the people who started Action Comics, most of them, if not all of them, did. They couldn't, the lifespan just doesn't do it. But we were going to get an Action Comics 1000, and Dan Didio and freaking Jim Lee fucked us up with that. And that, yes, I meant to cuss that time. Let's see. Austin, the case of the entire, that was my highlight comment from the live stream. I just put it into permanent comment for the algorithm. I certainly appreciate that. I do appreciate someone else backing me up on that bullshit. Okay, so Glenzer says, if they can't boost sales numbers with good comics, go hog wild in the variants. And that might be it. I was Almighty Jack was watching the auction the other day, and he and MARANYA were having a bit of an argument about the fact that they should make comic books returnable. If you order a whole bunch, you could send them back, get a bit of a refund. And he said something which I thought about. And I did mention that night. He says that, but then people will only order the comic. Say it's a 1 in 500, they'll order 500 issues of the new comic, and then just send the books back, and in order to just have the variant. Which I'm thinking, you know what? If they order the comics, they want to sell the comics because they can make more money. But it's a predatory practice. If you have, like, say, like right now. What's DC putting out that isn't selling? Everything that's not Batman. If DC decides to put out like a 500, 1 in 500 variant of Human Target, knowing that not 500 issues aren't going to sell in one shop, then that's a predatory practice, and they should just not do it. And that's just my opinion. That's the way I see all that. Let's see. Nice stream, says MK. Thanks for the Epic Alf variant cover with the seal. That was great. I agree. That is one of the greatest. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that got to print covers ever. Please, by all means, watch the video if you haven't. Check out what we're talking about. Jordan Maldonado says 20 to 30 bucks, depending if the variant artist, story, or quality aligned. But even that's very, very rare for me. I could probably count on one hand in a year if I spend that much. I'm the same way. Like occasionally I'll see something and be like, oh, okay, sure, why not? But very rare. Like the Stray Dogs variants, I did spend $20 on the Silence of the Lambs Stray Dogs issue. Any of the Grimm fairy tales reimagined by Disney are way, way more kid-friendly than the original. Yep. Let's see. I did think Stanley was right. Was the autocorrect too screwed? Oh, yeah, okay. That still didn't stop me from buying 23 variants of Action 1000. What can I say? I'm a Superman guy. We all love what we love, man. Can't be faulted for... I mean, hey, if you're a Superman guy, you got to admit, for the fact that there is no real Action Comics number 1000, there were a few very good covers. I like the 1950s one, the train one. That was my favorite. As a matter of fact, even the Wonder Woman 750, which had a freaking Riley Rosmo story, which I don't know why anybody be like, hey, I'm going to write this story. Can I get somebody to shit all over it with the worst art of the modern day? I don't know why people do that. But even that one had that cover based on the 1940s. Beautiful, beautiful cover. The idea of a variant 1 or 2 was okay. They went too many. Oh yeah, you remember the Iron Man that had, it was like the same cover except the armor was different. So they had one cover for every version of Iron Man's armor that there's ever been. It was pretty freaking ridiculous. And then you get into the ones where like the artists will just draw one and put it on their website and such. Let's see. Wraith says, when I hear Guardians of the Galaxy, I still think of Martin X, Charlie 27, etc., etc. You know what? That's my favorite version of the Guardians. This new version, I like them in the movies, but I've never actually got into the comic book version of the Guardians of the Galaxy MCU. Maranya says 25 variant covers for the #1 slot Iron Man, 25 different armors. Yep. DC Comics doesn't understand Batgirl and comic book origins. This is going to change. I'm just going to put first appearance because I started comic book origins because what's his name? The fat guy with the hat. Harsh, freaking loud voice. Been around forever. Far more successful than a lot of people. What is his freaking Linkara? He was doing first appearance, and I thought, okay, I don't want to copy, but first appearance is a search term, so I'm going to start changing comic book origins into that. Still, the older ones are going to say comic book origins, but it's first appearance. They say, hey, they understand it, but they hate it. Yeah, what the hell are they doing with Cassie? Tevye is saying, I love Cassandra Cain Batgirl. She's really awesome. And she is the very first, by the way, Batgirl to get her own series. Barbara Gordon never had her own series. She had backups in like Detective Comics, Batman Family, and so forth, so on. Ray says, not a fan of the name Orphan, but there shouldn't be multiple people. Not a fan of the name Orphan, but there shouldn't be multiple people using the Batgirl name at the same time either. Okay, here's a bit of a confession. I started reading Batgirls because I thought, okay, well, this will be a good bad comic beatdown. Let me check this out. And I read it, never made the video. Okay, this time I'm going to do a bad comic beatdown. Read it, never did the video. Nope, this time I'm going to do the read it. I actually enjoy Batgirls now. I think I've got that Florence Nightingale effect or whatever it was called. What is it? The Streisand effect? Anywho, let's see. Every adaptation of, every adaptation of fairy tales, says Austin P, were changed to fit their culture of the time. For example, the Brothers Grimm edited a lot of the sex from them. Well, now, you know, that would have made the Disney movies a little bit different. 6 variant covers once for Star Wars. It's ridiculous how predatory it is. Also, I prefer the comic Star-Lord. All right. I think the 1 in 1,000 covers are, yeah, it does go overboard. It does go overboard. Okay, this is actually a video. It's one of my, this is why I started doing the comic book origin stuff again, is because they're the evergreens. I'm always getting comments on an older one. Sometimes it's Captain Marvel, sometimes it's Tank Girl. But I'm very happy. Thank you very much to everybody who is new and still support the older comic book origin videos. They're fun for me to do. I love going back over and reading the old comics. And a lot of times, one of the reasons why I do like doing this is a lot of times we can talk about a story, but it's been a long time since you've read it, or it's been a long time since I've read it, or it's been talked about so much, maybe we felt like we didn't need to read it, and we never have. And that's why I like doing the comic book origins, because it's actually just sitting down, reading, talking about it, maybe joking about it if it's silly. But thank you very much for those who still support these videos. If Captain Marvel, says Eric McMurray, does return, he returns as he originally was in the let me try that again. If Captain Marvel does return, he returns as he originally was in the beginning, a guy and not a woman. Okay. I'm fine with that. Let Carol Danvers go back to being Miss Marvel. And let her wear that Warbird outfit. Britton Caldwell about Batgirl saying, damn, she's cool. Why, yes, sir. The one thing I didn't like was it showed like Batman sparring with her, and she was actually drawing blood through Batman's gloves. I'm like, come on. You know, I know what you're trying to do, but she's like, she at the time was like maybe 10. You're not doing damage to a 6 foot, 220 pound muscular guy. Okay, so going on to every superhero is a drag queen. Grant Morrison, man, he comes out and he's like, he has to have been joking, you know, like a little tongue in cheek. But Mr. Snicket said they got Grant Morrison. Who's next? Stop taking our heroes. Grant Morrison, they didn't take him, man. I'm sorry to tell you this, but he dove headfirst into wokeism. All right. Oh, hell with Morrison. Keep him away from any Marvel or DC. I actually believe that would be good. Once they go down this route, it's not. Grant Morrison is gone, guys. Grant Morrison is dead. It's time to bury him. Let's see. Overlord69 says, I actually found myself enjoying Morrison's talk, and superheroes being drag queens is the oldest joke in the book. Grant Morrison being non-binary. Yes, he's binary, okay? We're all freaking binary. Can we stop? Can we stop, please? We're all freaking binary. It's just the way it is. It's freaking life, okay? Oy vey. Grant Morrison being non-binary seems like a cosmic joke than anything else. All righty. Wow. Did not be. Oh, yeah, you are. Okay, so let's see. I read the first couple of issues of Watchmen. I can imagine it was more impressive at the time. Reading it now is clouded by so many others writing in the similar way. And Jay Brolick says, I can't stand Watchmen. Pretentious, miserable, boring, and I like a variety of Alan Moore's other projects. That is actually a modern, I've heard modern takes on like that. Like, I don't get it. I don't get, why did you think the Watchmen was so great? And part of it is you got to get the historical context. I actually thought the same thing about Citizen Kane. I can see why people love it the way they do. Personally, I think it's slow and boring, but a lot of people would say he's the first to do this, he's the first to do that, to which I would respond, yeah, but he wasn't the last. So by the time I got to Citizen Kane, I saw all the tricks, especially considering I'm an Alfred Hitchcock fan. I've seen all the camera tricks. So when I went and saw it, it just wasn't anything new and impressive or anything like that. It was just a slow and boring story. So I can see how some younger people may actually look at the Watchmen in that kind of light. It makes sense for it. Personally, of course, I don't agree, but I was there in the beginning when it was like, holy crap, this stuff's awesome. But I'll tell you this, I like V for Vendetta better. I always have. I like the setup. I like the way it was written, the asides, the supporting characters. It is far more deep than the movie would let on, even though I like the movie. But yeah, I actually do like V for Vendetta better than Watchmen, and I have since the very beginning when V for Vendetta came out. Let's see. Cartoons and Comics saying that there's a lot of people talking about Marvel Comics going to do a horror label histories. I don't know if I trust them for it. Well, it's like I say, man, these days, be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it, and it ain't going to be good. Let's see. Doing the Captain Marvel story would be a good thing to do before Tony's death, but after Endgame, not sure the death of superhero would have impacted the original Marvel story. Did you guys see the tweet that's going around about Brie Larson? Somebody asked, how long are you going to be doing the character? And she angrily says, like, I don't know. I don't know. They don't want me to do it. I don't know. It's like, yeah. Why do you think that is? You know, is there, I want to know, as far as Brie Larson is concerned, is there any insight? Like, did you think about, gee, why do these people not want me to play this character anymore? She was the one that really started the let's insult the fans kind of advertisement. It's ridiculous. Hey, Dominic, good evening, everyone. Engleton, a long box with the books came in, safe and sound. Alrighty. Glad it did. There's others, by the way. I was able to take some of the older ones and put them in with the newer ones. And I'm glad I was able to, because when I opened the bag, I was surprised. That was a bag full of those Silver Age Legion of Superheroes. Want you to get those. Those are awesome. When people saw Dracula and Frankenstein in 1931, it was, wow. Most people today find the movies trite and boring, but not me. I still enjoy them too. I got to say, like, Frankenstein was probably my favorite. Dracula's kind of dropped a little bit, and Creature from the Black Lagoon and Invisible Man have risen a little bit since my childhood days. Have you ever wondered if Moore and Morrison have practiced automatic writing in their comics? I mean, they're into all that. Wait, what? Occult stuff. I don't know. One thing I noticed, She-Hulk, yes, they don't know how to write trials, especially lawyers switching between criminal and civil law. That's actually something my wife hates to watch with me, because I'm very, like, she loves crime shows. And anytime they go into court, or anytime a cop talks to somebody, and I've told her this, I said, if ever a cop starts talking to you, the only answer to every question is lawyer. And she goes, I'm not going to get talked to. The cops aren't going to want to talk to me. I said, yeah, when you think you're not going to, you think you're not a person of interest to a cop, that's when they come and talk to you. And she hates it, because I always kind of throw my hands up whenever the bad guy confesses to the crime, or whenever the bad guy agrees to talk to a cop by himself without a lawyer and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no. And this is my advice to you guys. If ever you are a person of interest to anybody, even if you're standing on the street, the only answer to every question is lawyer. Lawyer. Oh, can you come in and talk? Lawyer. That's all. That's it. If they'll ask you questions on the side of the road, and do you know why I pulled you over? No, you have no freaking clue. Yeah, it's just stuff like that. I always get kind of skeeved out when I'm watching a show and the person that they're questioning answers all the questions and everything. Let's see. Grant Morrison was my favorite comic book author. Emphasis on was, says Yellow Spouter Guy. Now, I got to admit, to me, he's been falling not as fast as Frank Miller, but he's kind of been off the reservation a while. Grant Morrison is nuts and has nuts. So, you know, you get a twofer. Savage Darksider is saying Grant Morrison is overrated. JB Brolick, again, hello, saying I really like a ton of Grant Morrison stuff, but he has been in decline since around 2000. New X-Men had some unforgivingly bad plot holes, and there was a large span in the middle of his Batman run around the Final Crisis stuff that was some of the worst nonsense I've ever read, despite enjoying the stuff from the Batman and Robin and onward. I actually like Batman and Robin. he has fully jumped the shark since around 2015. I didn't like his Green Lantern. That's what got me off the Grant Morrison train, the Green Lantern stuff. I think he's one of the guys who bought into their own hype. He's weird, wacky, crazy, and developed into repeating his own tropes and doing weirdness for weirdness' sake. That's actually kind of what I say about Frank Miller. Frank Miller went into Sin City and he never left. And he started writing every character, no matter who it was, as if they lived in Sin City. And that's why we got some of the worst books we had seen in a long time, like All-Star Batman, that Superman Year One. Paolo. Paolo's here, guys. Time to go. He says, doing all that X finally burned his brain, I guess. Okay. Hey, another one about Captain Marvel. Once again, guys, thank you for checking out the old videos as well. Check the end credits of Shazam movie to see Rick Jones in the crew. I think it was second unit driver, which if you know Rick Jones, that's totally a thing he'd do. Okay. Probably salty he wasn't even mentioned in the Captain Marvel movie or even the MCU as a whole. Yeah, Rick Jones has not yet made an appearance in the MCU, has he? Huh, that does seem wrong. That does seem wrong. And finally, the last comment of the evening. Drag queens dress up to get attention. Batman dresses up to fight Killer, Croc, Bane, Darkseid, etc., to protect people. Not quite the same thing there, Grant. And I have to agree with him. Yeah, that was, yeah, I'm just going to hold there. Let's see, held for review. All the, oh, hey, I don't have any held for reviews. Okay, cool. Usually it's the bots. Woo! Come here if you want a lady or something like that. Let's see. Brie Larson needs to play Captain Marvel right up to the point where they introduce a certain Southern woman into the MCU. I know a lot of people want to see that fight with her, between her and Rogue. That would I would pay to see that, but I got to admit I'm going to pay to see the Marvels. Let's see, Dominic saying Dick Wolf of Law and Order and those involved in Better Call Saul not only did their research in law, but had police and lawyers as consultants. I didn't care for Morrison's JLA run. Oh, that's my favorite of the JLA. That's my favorite run of the JLA. Let's see, Horror of Dracula, though I had a blast watching, says Austin P. Let's see, patiently waiting for the Battle of the Super Sons to be pre-ordered. I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it. Big fan of Peter J. Tomasi's Super Sons run. Not a big fan of his story where he stopped it dead to explain to us what a non-binary person is. Dude, judging by his explanation, and this is what I mean, freaking Twitter, man. You want to talk about predators? Freaking Twitter. If you read that story in, what was it called? The Belle Rave Summer, something like that. Saved by the Belle Rave. And it's all about stories in school, different characters. The Green Arrow story is actually pretty cool. Green Arrow and Speedy takes place in Silver Age. But going to the Peter J. Tomasi Super Son story, they have this kid, he's being bullied, stops dead to explain, like 2 pages worth of explaining to you what a non-binary person is. And what they explain is a teenager, just a teenager. Well, you don't feel right about yourself. You don't feel like you fit in the proper holes. You're a square peg in a round hole. We actually had a TV show called Square Pegs, and it was about awkward feeling teenagers. It was good comedy, by the way. But that's it. And we have predators on the Twitter, and kids don't even know it because they're saying, oh, no. Your whole feeling about that is that you're not normal. No, you are normal. Listen to Uncle England teen here. You're normal. Everyone feels that way. Everyone feels, maybe not Tom Brady. Tom Brady was just created. There you go. Okay. But everybody at some point in time has their awkward phase, and these people, they prey on these kids and they say, oh, you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that and you're not what everybody says you are. And we need you to believe that because we need this movement to grow so we could break down the system. Let's see. Bree was telling the truth for the first time. She does not know if she's going to be back. She is no longer under contract after the Marvels. By the way, neither is Don Cheadle. I just saw that. Don Cheadle said that he is no longer under contract to Marvel. Where did I see that, though? I was opening up a whole bunch of stuff like, okay, where can I find a decent story? I need to find a story. And I forgot where I saw that. But I was like, oh, really? Don Cheadle's not? That's interesting. Because I heard that basically they really do just kind of want to get rid of, they want to get rid of the original Avengers. Obviously, some of them are just going to be, one, aged out, and two, more expensive. I mean, Don Cheadle, he is my age. But I don't know. I don't know where I saw that story, or I would pick it up. Oh, I got to see Stargirl, the new Stargirl's in. Huh. But no, I can't find it. But yeah, he's out as well. So a lot of the old, but then again, their contracts would be up because they probably signed a 6-8 picture deal. Nick Fury, Sam Jackson said he signed 9 movies. I saw this. It was an actors roundtable thing that GQ does or something. And he was talking to everybody. He says, yeah, I signed a 9-picture deal to do Nick Fury, thinking I'm 60 years old. There's no way they're going to get to 9 pictures before I'm dead. He said, I didn't know they were going to do it one a week. So, but yeah, Don Cheadle and the other name actors will learn what Anthony Mackie said a year ago. The characters matter, not the actors. And that's true. Look, it's true. The actors are like the artists in comics. One thing that's going around now, even though Chad Boswick, beloved actor of Black Panther, a lot of people are saying, don't let the character die. Just recast. And that's got to be the way. It's got to be like James Bond. Don't stop making Captain America movies. Keep making them. One thing they need to do, and this is something I've said since the beginning, the place is called Marvel Studios. They make movies. Now, even Kevin Feige has mistakenly said that it's the Marvel franchise. No, sir. No, sir. You're wrong. Even though you're the guy behind all the stories, you're wrong. Just like it's not the 616. Oh, but this is our take on the 616 with little differences. Those little differences, you ignorant mother, is why it's not the 616, right? So, but what he also gets wrong is Captain America is the franchise. Thor is the franchise. Guardians of the Galaxy is the franchise. He needs to get people out of the mindset that the franchise is Marvel. That way, the whole fatigue that's setting in with a lot of people might actually go away just a little bit, because you're creating this whole thing like it's one big story. And if you watch the original movies, it's not that way. They would tell their own stories. Maybe one line here or one line there would reference something else. But if I were Feige, the first thing I would do is try to separate the movies from here on in. Let the Marvels be its own story. Let Cyborg and the Flash be their own story, and they all go into Secret Invasion or something like that. You get what I'm saying? But unfortunately, they're tying it in together to the point where, since Doctor Strange wasn't as strong of a movie, and Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't as strong in the movie, why do you want to freaking watch Black Panther? Marvel's starting to suck now. Marvel's not as good as it used to be. So why do you want to watch the next one if the first one was just horrible? And so they need to, I think Feige needs to separate the movies like the comics. Yeah, you're not going to stop reading Spider-Man because Ghost Rider sucks. You're just going to stop reading Ghost Rider. Same with the movies. If they make a Ghost Rider movie and it sucks, it shouldn't affect Captain America. And you could just continue making more and more movies and TV shows and so forth. And I would also separate that as well, much like DC did with the TV shows and the movies. I would separate it. Let the Disney Plus stuff be the Disney Plus stuff. Let the movies be the movies. Never the twain have to meet. But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Seth Green is the new voice for Thunderbolt in season 3 of Stargirl. Thought he would be portraying a DC character, but it was a pleasant surprise. Wow, okay. I didn't mind, what's his name? Gaffigan, I think it was. Marvel's been sucking since Captain America, says Austin P. I disagree. I do like the Infinity War and the Endgame. I did like the Spider-Man movies. I liked the Scarlet Witch, and I loved Hawkeye, and Ms. Marvel really hit for me. So there's some spots there that were good. What's up? Did you hear the Nightbright actress from The Boys is crying about misogynist fans, and Eric Kripke told fans to F off on his Twitter? Who's Eric Kripke? And what are they talking about? I mean, did she say anything, or was it like they went, wow, she's sexy in that outfit? Yeah, Jim Gaffigan. I don't know. I didn't see the story. So no, I didn't hear about that. But I would love to find out what was said. Because yeah, that might actually be interesting. Twilight of the Gods and the end of Super Magician comes to auction. I'm looking at stories here as well, because I was trying to find that Don Cheadle thing. Avengers Assemble crossover ends Jason Aaron's run with the biggest Avenger saga in Marvel history. Doubt it. Let's see. Endgame has aged like The Force Awakens. I don't think so. I just don't think so. But hey, you know what? Everybody's got the different opinions. You have yours, I have mine. It just means that, once again, my money was better spent. That's all. Kripke was the creator of the Supernatural and now showrunner for The Boys. Oh, okay. Well, look, I can understand it. But I would first want to see what was being said. Because think about it from his point of view. We don't know her. We don't know her. We know the character she plays, and maybe she'll do an interview and we may think we have an idea. But he sees her every day. You know, he's friends with her. And if it's perceived that somebody's attacking, yeah, he's going to fight back. I appreciate that. I appreciate someone fighting back for it. But once again, I would like to see like what that was said. She's crying because fans are attacking her or attacking the character, or it's a sort of thing. The actor playing King Joffrey in GOT gets hate because, yeah, I never understood that. I actually did a video. I know I told this story and I did the video. Check it out. And it was talking about, look, guys, don't attack Rose Tico. What's the actor's name? Kelly something or other. I forget her name. But anyway, point being, lovely young lady. We have no idea who she is. And let's face it, every one of us, if they came up to me, hey, you want to play an Asian girl named Rose Tico in the new Star Wars movie? I would say yes. Everybody would, because you'd be a part of Star Wars. And that's what she did. She took a job. That's it. And she did her best with it. And then she was fine. It's just there was nothing on the page. It was a bad script. And I mentioned that. I said, no, we shouldn't be attacking the actress. You know, say what you will about the movie, say what you will about Rose Tico as a character, but don't say something about the actress herself. And I'd say the same thing about this girl, because they just took a job and they're doing their best, you know? And I actually got comments in the video like, bullshit, she was horrible in the movie, and oh, I hate her, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you know what? If that's your attitude, in all honesty, you're just not helpable. You know, I only imagine you're the freaking fat guy off that World of Warcraft episode of freaking South Park. You get so mad at an actress because she did a role you didn't like. Yeah, I agree with them. I agree with, if that's the case, then I'm on Kripke's side about it. If you don't like the character, say you don't like the character. Don't attack the actress. You don't like the show, don't fucking watch. There's a joke George Carlin told. This is back in the days of radio. He says, yeah, they removed a show because some priest complained. He says, well, last time I noticed there were two knobs on the damn radio, use them. One turns it down, one turns it off. But I could see that you're not used to tweaking any knobs, of course. Kelly Marie Tran, thank you, Dominic. But that's the whole thing. If you don't like the show, don't watch it. Attacking a girl because she's playing a character you don't like is bullshit. By the way, I actually like the character, and I like the show The Boys. Kripke is the creator of Supernatural, and I saw what was happening. There was some trolls targeting her, but I need to admit that they're being funny, but assholes. Okay, yeah, it might be funny, but true. You can't really blame a guy for trying to back up his friend. Wasn't the Kelly Marie Tran controversy completely fabricated? I heard nothing of the sort, but you never know. You never know. Did you see Cobra Kai yet? No. I told Gail, I said, Gail, we got a new season of Cobra Kai. But it's been a busy week for us getting our daughter ready to go and everything. So we haven't done much. Let's see. I want to see it so much. I love that show. It's, by the way, I love, actually, maybe I could share this too. I love Cobra Kai so much, but you got to admit, I mean, come on. It's a show about kung fu schools, right? And they're like killing people and they're breaking backs. And I'm glad they at least talked about it a little bit, but it's ridiculously over the top. You know, why isn't some people in jail and such like that? It is so ridiculously over the top. Okay, let me see. Where are we here? It's a long time since it's long since time minority diversity hires grow some balls and quit taking jobs as diversity hires. Yeah, I agree. Look, but I wouldn't say Kelly Marie Tran's fell under that. Rose Tico was kind of there. Kelly Marie Tran controversy was such a faux controversy. Not watch The Boys myself. I don't think I would enjoy it. It's not my cup of tea, but still on the fence about Sandman series. I enjoyed the Sandman. I did. I didn't mind the changes. Some of them were stupid, but yeah, I enjoyed. Be so good you get the job as a white guy or take the scorn you earned. They made Kelly Marie Tran dress in a burlap sack. Yeah, and it made her look very boxy. That whole onesie outfit she wore throughout the movie. She's a lovely lady. And if you look at pictures like when she was walking the red carpet and everything, not bad. Very nice on the eyes. Never read the Sandman comics either. Usual avoid the horror, gory comics. Sandman isn't that way, in all honesty, and there are some that it's more fantasy than horror. There are some horror comics in there, though. Can we go back to when troll meant a guy who says outrageous things for attention? Or can we go back to where it meant bridge dweller that loves to eat goats and not dick? Starlight is one of several genuine heroes in the world of The Boys, much like Huey and Marvin, Mother's Milk. Go watch season 5 of Cobra Kai. That's next on the list, dude. Sending the CBR Don Cheadle article link here. Here it is. Let's see. Pink or Black. I heard about that. I heard about Peaky Blinders. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Okay, we're going to watch it. And Undead Quinn is saying, I read the Sandman comics and watch the show. If like the books, don't bother for the show. It smells I liked it. Like I said, I've read the books, but I'm not so. Does it look like my my poison ivy is topless? That is very weird. See, basically, this is the I am not Starfire image that would have bled over, and she's picking up part of the face, and it's making her look topless. Huh? Go figure. Cartoons say I prefer Stargirl. Me too. I mean, wait, what are we talking about? Prefer to what? Doesn't matter. Stargirl. And She-Hulk now, probably because I will turn 30 next year, and I say I am too old for this crap, especially about SJW and anti-SJW, says Cartoons Comics. You know, I watched Stargirl with my wife, and she's like, this sucks. So I got a lawyer. It's time to end things. Yeah. It looks like Poison Ivy is wearing a black leather pants with an open vest. Yeah, right. I hope Julie and the other characters from New Karate Kid make an appearance. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Of course, we haven't seen. Oh, Hilary Swank. That was her name. Hilary Swank. We haven't seen her in a long time. She hasn't been in any movies or anything. I don't know. That would be interesting, though. I would like them to at least acknowledge it. Next Karate Kid was always that really crappy movie that kind of is 100% forgotten these days. So you never know. You never know. Well, kids, what should we talk about? Because we've got only an hour in. Usually I go for an hour and a half here. Maranya, the other day, we were talking about the channel, things that I used to do, things that I need to bring back and so forth to revitalize and everything. And she mentioned something that unfortunately I don't have access to the information anymore. Comixology sucks. They don't have their top 10 anymore like they used to, which I would always do this, how weekly books sold. It's one thing, you go to Comic-Con and they'll tell you for the month, but they don't tell you the weekly numbers. And that's one thing I liked about Comixology. You could at least get digitally what sold every week. So I looked on Comic-Con and I thought, okay, how can I use this? How can I use that? I don't know if I can. But one thing that I found very interesting was that you can go and you could check out the months, like what is hot for the month. And I thought, well, this is September right here. This is 1987. And this is the September sales for 1987. I was like, wow, this is kind of like a little walk through memory lane. And certain things, it goes to 100, by the way. Area 88, popular independent comic. And that's one thing that I thought was kind of funny is you got 100 books here. And mind you, these 100 comics probably are all like number 100. I would have to check the numbers to be sure, but I would bet that it's coming close to what a top 10 book is selling these days. Marvel Tales, Badger, Cerebus. These are bottom of the 100, but these would be books that we all thought were popular. My the Psychic Girl, Kamui, Warlord. This would be running towards the end. The official Marvel Index to the X-Men, Savage Sword to Conan. This is a mini series with Batman and Wonder Woman, Conan the King. Wow, Video Jack outsold Conan the King. Holy crap. ElfQuest was really popular. The Outsiders was number 78. Star Trek 77. By the way, the 1980s DC Star Trek series, the one that was written by Peter David, is freaking excellent. You got Cyforce number 15. Cyforce was part of the New Universe. Awesome stuff. Gru the Wanderers, fun. The Question. All these books, man. It just, what a great time. It's like, you know, I do that comic books were better. Maybe that's how I could use this. This top 100 proves that comic books were better in 1987. With that run of the Spectre, the Teen Titans Spotlight, where they just focused on each individual member, New Teen Titans itself. You get up to the top 20, you have Alpha Flight number 54. By that time, like as far as collector value is concerned, nobody's paying attention in the 50s. Web of Spider-Man's 19, Avengers 287, 18, Flash number 8 is number 17, 16 is Solo Avengers number 2. Classic X-Men, guys. A reprint book is outselling for X. This is how powerful the X-Men were. Is outselling the Flash, Web of Spider-Man, Alpha Flight, Action Comics, Fantastic Four. Superman number 13 is number 13. G.I. Joe Real American Hero, issue number 6. Justice League International. Justice League International came out swinging. New Mutants at number 59 at number 10. Silver Surfer number 7. By the way, New Mutants number 59, they were actually considered a book on decline at that point in time. Number 9 was Silver Surfer. The Nom. Oh, I love the Nom. The Punisher number 5 was number 7. Then this freaking kills me, kids. Millennium number 6, 5, and 4 take up the 6, 5, or 4, 3, and 2 takes up the 6, 5, and 4 spot. And number 2 was Millennium number 1. X Factor 24, and the number 1 for September was X-Men number 225. But Millennium is one of those titles that you can't get anybody to talk about. Not a lot of people remember or even mention Millennium has ever existed. It's like the forgotten crossover of the 1980s. And it was the number 2. Number 1 was the number 2 seller of September, and the rest of them followed suit. It's kind of fun looking at that kind of stuff to me. But that's the kind of thing I find interesting. I find the history of comics interesting. I recommend a tier list day, maybe ranking different subjects, 1 a week, best covers from the 1980s, etc., etc. S tier to F tier ranked comic book movies or so forth. We were discussing that, and I think that is pretty good. You used to go to Bleeding Cool for the top 10 sold in stores, doing the top 10 digital for the week. So what I think, Maranya, I could probably do, like I could do the top 10 if Bleeding Cool was still talking about it. I could talk about that, and then switch to, hey, let's go to see what was selling at this particular time, this particular year, and so forth and so forth. It's unfortunate Comixology shut down. There were books from there I wanted to read and buy. I had a freaking huge-ass library. The problem was, I think they're still there, but the problem is the reader just isn't what it was. Like the original reader would let you get up, put the panel in. You could see the whole thing. It was done very well. And then they changed it so it was literally on your screen. It would be about that big. My old ass eyes couldn't see it, so I dropped the service. And unfortunately, a shit ton of comics. They had a 99-cent special one time, and they were doing Marvel Masterworks for 99 cents. And I thought, holy shit, I could get the entire Marvel universe to a point, because we were doing readings. I could get the entire Marvel universe where I could just do the panel thing. And so I bought damn near every Marvel Masterwork for $1, just so I would have those available when we did the readings. Do you think Comixology, are they hiding numbers so they don't have to say what the sales are? No, I just don't think they're interested. It's now owned by Amazon, and I don't think Amazon's just interested in giving the services that Comixology was giving before. Yeah, it's kind of like Disney. You'll pay more, but you're going to get less. Let's see. Comic books were better before the internet. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I just found out there was a Green Lantern versus Aliens book. Never knew that. I actually had that in the auction one time there, MK. Problem with Comicron, the sales are fractured now. Yep. Let's see. And now they're saying, back that up, show your receipts. Was Millennium about the war with Oa Manhunters? Yeah, that's the one. Dominic saying Millennium is one of my favorite events from DC Comics. You're right about being criminally underrated because many people talk about it. Yeah. It just kind of got buried. Legends is still talked about. Hell, we did a show about Legends here on the channel. Check it out, please. Of course, Crisis on Infinite Earths. But yeah, that one. Even Invasion. The Comixology thing is just yet another reason why I don't trust digital media. Just been buying physical books and Blu-ray movies. Yep. How far up the all-time gross sales list will Top Gun 2 climb up to? I don't know. Wasn't it like it just passed Black Panther or something like that? It's is Box Office Mojo still a thing? Let's see. Top Gun 2 Box Office Mojo. But Maverick has been defying everything. It should not be this, summer movies are very much designed to be here today, gone tomorrow. You come in, you make your weekend gross, maybe you stay for a few weeks racking up some dough, but you fall back to the background After a month or so, you're out. That's summer movies. Top Gun said, no, we're going to stay for a while. And we're going to embarrass all of you. It's something. It's a phenomenon. All righty. And let's see where it stands. Top Gun 2 Maverick. Wait, it was number 1? Really? Wow, it was number 1 for the week. It beat out Invitation, Dragon Ball Superhero, Bullet Train. Oh well, this ain't right. This ain't right. Let me see. Quarterly, yearly, seasons, all time. There we go. Just show me the freaking. This is talking about what the hell? Overall weekend records. I don't want records. I want the whole chart. Come on. Let's see. And where is it these days? Because I know it beat out. I know it beat out Black Panther. Right. Top lifetime grosses. Oh, Top Gun Maverick is at number 5. 705. It's been what, making $2 million, $3 million. I think it stays. I don't think it's beating Avatar. I just don't see it. That's another 60 million. So yeah, I'm gonna say Top Gun's sitting where it's gonna be from until something beats it. Let's see. I've recently finished the Milestones Compendium Omnibus. Absolutely enjoyed it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would love to get that. The sales numbers are also adding things like manga and Scholastic. I heard about that. Yeah, all these people are like, oh my gosh, the comics are doing better than ever. No, they're not. It's like that's like people trying to convince you that Joe Biden's the best president ever because, yeah, no, he isn't. But all these jobs, yeah, you know what? I walk around and I see all these jobs and, oh my gosh, the gas prices have lowered to $2 higher than when Trump was president. Yeah, you're not fooling us, okay? We've got eyes of our own. It's the same thing with the sales numbers. I go into the comic shops. I talk to the comic book dealers, and you know what? You're full of shit if you think comic books, American comic books, are selling like they used to. I was there in the fucking 90s. I was there in the 80s. I was there in the 70s. I will guarantee you that comic books aren't selling like they used to. So pack that bullshit up and take it to the tourists. Okay, take it to whatever sailor you want to hump crazy bar. I don't care. You are you're off your nut. We were there. There's some people with a little bit of this gray in our beards. We saw what it was like in the 80s and the 90s. And this ain't it, kid. All righty. Sorry, I got on my box there. Let's see. Top Gun Maverick has been in theaters for 16 weeks, and that's super rare for 21st century. Yep. You know, you and the crew could do a discussion on Millennium if you want to do for a future live stream. Yeah, okay. I think that'd be kind of fun. Waiting for it to come out on streaming. The plane effects affect my vertigo. Had trouble. I get that. I get that. Oh, man. You just reminded me, though. I got to get to the theaters. My theater around the corner here has Jaws 3D. Yes. I know Barbarians came out. My wife loves horror films, so she's probably going to drag me to that one, and I'm A-okay going to see it, but I want to see Jaws in 3D. I just want to see it on the big screen again. I haven't seen it on the big screen in about 20 years. I took a friend of mine we worked together at Twister here. I took him out to see, they used to show classics at the Universal Theater, and took him to see Jaws and Casablanca. You know what? I love Casablanca. It's one of my favorite films of all time. And it's pretty cool when, because I would watch his reaction. I've seen the movie a couple dozen times. So it's kind of like watching him watching the movie. And he's just like, doesn't say a word, no comment, no nothing, doesn't move. He's like this the whole time. Just. And then afterwards he goes, that was awesome. And that's a young guy, you know, he was in his 20s at the time. And yeah, that's just really cool. You know, an old 1940s film this man's watching and he's just like, that was awesome. It was. Casablanca is freaking amazing. It's freaking amazing. He dumped my friendship because of politics, by the way. Let's see. I've heard some reports that Top Gun 2 beat Endgame, which was the top earner of all time. Oh, that'd be cool. Even Disney is said to be outsourcing to boutique Blu-ray companies, which is great because Disney has been slacking. Well, that's cool. I don't mind it so much. I used to actually not want Mickey Mouse to go into public domain. I don't think I hold that. I don't hold that opinion anymore. You know, of course, because you know, if you put it in public domain, you're going to get the cartoons or something like that on the porn channels where Mickey's fucking Minnie and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? You're getting it now anyway. If you, I've never done it, but if you Google it, I bet you'll find it. So at this point in time, yeah, let it go. Let's see what other people could do with the characters. I guess Superman and Human Torch, Batman, Namor, all those characters are would be falling into the same thing. Is it about time to let our characters into the public domain? Let's see. Back then in my neighborhood, if you didn't have a pull service or get to the comic shop on Wednesday, you'd have to hope you were getting lucky for this. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. If something sold out, you would have to do the crawl going around. When the Death of Superman came out, I had a small shop at a flea market, and people would get into bidding wars over issues. So there was a time when I cleared out. I cleared out the city. I went from one area to the other. Every time I could find an issue of Superman, I bought it up. And then a week or two, I would put it out, and people would go nuts for that kind of stuff. Let's see. The first Top Gun was in major theaters around 38 weeks, and the cheap theaters for months after that. I missed the dollar theaters. Never seen Casablanca. It's a very good movie, Motonui. It might be a little slow for the modern age, but it is just so well acted, so well directed, and so well written. And the disguise says, "Play it again, Sam," or "Play it, Sam." Never said. That is a movie myth. It was never a line in the movie. He says, she says, play that song, play the name of the song. You must remember, you know the one. But she never says, "Play it again, Sam." And Humphrey Bogart says, "Play it. You played it for her, you could play it for me." And he starts playing it. But nobody ever says, "Play it again, Sam," in Casablanca. However, years later, Woody Allen wrote a play and then a movie called "Play It Again, Sam," where his character was followed around by a Humphrey Bogart-like character to give him confidence to do what he needs to do. And so I don't know if that influenced "Play It Again, Sam" becoming a popular phrase, but yeah, it was never actually said in Casablanca. But then again, yeah, you didn't say "Play it again, Sam." You said "Play it, Sam." So there you go. There's porn on the internet. Yep. Because they need to stop messing with copyright. Rule 34. If you think of it, there's pornography about it. Yeah. My favorite angry catchphrase: "I will never Google." I will never Google it. Diversity in Comics is really prepping for the public domain to expire for Superman and Batman. He's got quite a few story ideas already lined up. All right. Then again, it's not like there aren't a whole bunch of stand-ins for Batman and Superman anyway. He could do his own right now. Though he's started trashing Golden Age Batman, which I have umbrage with. Yeah, what the fuck is that about? Golden Age Batman's awesome. Although, once again, I coined the term Silver Age silliness and Golden Age goofiness for a reason. One thing that I think is very goofy about Golden Age books is the caption. Like you'll see the art, and the caption says, "Batman flew into the window," and then it shows him like the whole panel is just him going into the window. It's like, yeah, we see that. You don't need to tell us. We see it. Write something different. Yeah. Let's see. Disney Rule 34 is old as the 70s. If they remake Casablanca, they'll race swap Bogart's role for a 1943 setting. Yeah. I could see that. I can see it. Well, okay. I really do not like the race swapping thing. I do, however, understand that as an actor, no matter your color, you might want to play a character. And I think it works in a case where, like Alexander, you know, he does this production, kind of says, hey, all the good guys are going to be Latino or black, and all the bad guys are going to be white. That's basically Alexander. Well, there's only one bad guy, the King of England. Unless you count, what's his name, who shot him. But I think it works in that kind of setting. You know, it is a bit of a standout. I don't think it really hurts like Game of Thrones. I get it. It's supposed to take place in a certain time, but I don't really think the race swapping hurt Game of Thrones because, one, the writing is really good, and two, there are dragons, you know, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. Plus, we have seen black people in the world before anyway. So, yeah, I don't think it bothers, but to just say, hey, this guy is in this period that he wouldn't be. Speaking of bad Disney remakes, as a matter of fact, there's one on Disney Plus. It actually started on Disney Plus, Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp, of course, you have the dogs, everybody knows, but the Jim, Dear, and Darling are the adult characters, the humans that own Lady and the Tramp, or Lady anyway. And the girl is black. Darling is black in 1920 America. And I get it. They're trying to, okay, she's just an actress playing a role. But there's a historical context to 1920s America that would have a lot of questions, you know? And I once again, I get it. They just want you to see it as, here's an actress playing a role of Darling. But I got to tell you, I couldn't, maybe it was, I guess I could put it on myself. Like I was racializing this because they are in 1920s America and nobody's going, hey, you know, that kind of thing when they're walking down the street, holding hands, kissing each other, doing, and you wouldn't have done that in 1920s America anyway, out in public. So it just kind of took me out of the story because it wouldn't have been good in that setting. Yeah. Anyway, they remade Casablanca years ago with David Soul, Starsky and Hutch in the Bogart role, and they made Casablanca a long time ago with tits and barbed wire. I kid you not. Watch barbed wire. That's Casablanca, kids. The only thing I didn't like with the Golden Age Batman is the narration and Bob Kane's inability to put comic panels in a readable order. Let's see. There's a Vagar video about poor young ladies trying to stave off starvation. They're so poor they can't even afford cutlery. 2 girls, 1 cup. Yeah, I'll tell you what. No, in a disguise. I've never seen it. Never will. So apparently Whoopi Goldberg said those who don't like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones are racist. Freaking hell. Whoopi Goldberg's a freaking racist. How are you going to say? I mean, Whoopi Goldberg is a rich black woman who tells poor black people that they can't make it in America. Fuck you, Whoopi. Seriously, who listens to Whoopi Goldberg anymore? No one's intends to race swap a dragon. 1920s England, Europe might be more tolerant of mixed couples. Not in America. Yeah, I think they're kidding. The girl race swapped. No one cared about this, and my niece liked, but Brazil never had any segregation sort of thing, says Cartoon Comics. Well, there you go. The movie itself wasn't good anyway. I wanted it to be, but I'm like that. I want every movie I watch to be good. I don't want to sit down to Lord of the Rings, Board of the Rings, and have it be bad. If I'm going to spend an hour watching the movie then, or the TV show, make it good. I don't want Captain Marvel to be bad. I want it to be good. I want every freaking movie I sit down to be good. It's not going to happen, but I always go in positive. Or at least I try to. I mean, who sits down on a movie hoping it's going to be bad? Except for the black bills. I mean, let's face it. If you're going to get a 250,000 clicks on a video because you say this sucks, it works. Remakes of all black casts like Raisin in the Sun never get race swapped. It's a one-way street. It really is. Now, I think you could do it. Like if you rewrote Raisin in the Sun for a different setting and such, you could probably get away with it. Books tell, don't show. Movies you show, don't tell. And when you switch the way characters race sweat it is 2022. This is a sign you're not following the book's descriptions. Well, yeah, that's true. But I also think in some ways it dates things just a bit. Instead of makes them timeless, it actually kind of dates them because this is that age's politics and everything. That's just me. Calling it now, some TMNT movie, they'll out Janica front and center over the other 4 turtles. Hope I'm wrong. It might happen. I mean, let's face it. If you are whoever holds the, what is it, Paramount Universe, somebody, whoever holds the movie licenses to the turtles, wouldn't you try to go for that demographic and just put Janica in? Yeah, we don't like her. She's not a good character. I'm a closet Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, by the way. But I never read a Janica story. But I could see why they would say, hey, we're going to do this. That was the reason for a lot of the girl characters that were created in the comics. Wonder Woman was created because they wanted to get girl readers. Yes, Supergirl. Hey, why not? It became a little bit more cynical in the 70s, but before, like in the Silver Age and the Golden Age, they created these female characters to bring in girl readers. So why not with the Jenica, the people who own the title, they want to get more female viewers, young girl viewers, bring in Janica. It makes sense. Let's see. This would a female Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Have a good night, Drone. Thanks for stopping by. Closet TMNT fan. Is it unpopular to like TMNT because I didn't know that? Of a certain age. Okay, so I love the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm trying to collect all the novels of the original series, but after the cartoon came out, I sort of dropped off because it was way too childish, yet I still saw all the movies, and then just I like the IDW stuff. I really have, but it's not something I've collected. It's not something I collected religiously. Closeted Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans probably wrong. I had to realize for myself that I was. Same thing about Kevin Costner movies. I hate Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner, freaking flat range actor, just seems like he's not interested in the movie he's in. But then I thought, well, name the bad one. You know, I mean, name Kevin Costner movies you really didn't like, and I got to tell you, there were more that I liked than I didn't. I was like, holy crap, I'm a Kevin Costner fan. Same thing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No more female viewers show shirtless hot guys sweating if possible. Why not? Female turtle, sweaty hot guy. You're right. I've yet to hear those people who complain about race swap movie properties complain about The Wiz mainly because it was done right. Yeah, I remember liking it as a kid. I got to tell you, though, I don't think it holds up when I'm an adult. I like the song He's on Down, but I sometimes I just watch it and I'm thinking, or I look at it and I say, didn't anybody tell Diana Ross what she looked like with that chia pet on her head? The hell, nobody told her. No, not one person. Not one person said, hey, you know, we don't need to make her glamorous, but maybe not look like. No, it was a horrible hairdo. But yeah, it was kind of slow. Kevin Costner would have made a good Batman. Oh, a young Kevin Costner. Yeah. Yeah, that might work. That might work. Janica sucked the fun of the time we were having on the run self-insert every time. I still have my Return of the Shredder in 1998 and my 3 green VHS movies. Yeah, good times. Good movies, though. The Wiz is kind of like Flash Gordon in the 1980s. It was cheesy fun. Yeah, it was. Nipsey Russell, man. I got to tell you, that's a comedian I really liked. Nipsey Russell, ladies and gentlemen. That rapper freaking stole a name. The original TMT movie surprised me with how flexible the costumes were. They were very agile. I expected some Power Rangers villain stuff. Yeah, it was actually pretty good. Yeah, I saw that. I was a projectionist at the time at Cinemark at Republic Square. It's no longer there. It used to be behind a water park. And we watched, all the employees got together one night, the night before it was supposed to air, and we watched together. Really fun. Nick Fury and Helmet, no one complained about them. Yeah, well, Nick Fury technically wasn't a race swap because they had already done it in the comics. So we were suspected that the MCU is actually doing the maybe not the 616. They're doing whatever it is, the Ultimate Universe. There you go. Nobody complained about them. Oh, by the way, did you guys see the previews? Did you see the previews for the Nick Fury show, the Secret Invasion show, and Werewolf by Night? I saw that one as well. Got to tell you, Nick Fury, they're looking good. I like the Nick Fury. It's obviously going to be different than the comic book because a whole bunch of characters haven't been introduced yet. But I got to tell you, I like the whole espionage thing. The whole way it looked, it almost gave me Winter Soldier vibes. So fingers crossed that they can nail this one. I like the way it looked, but holy crap, dude. When I saw the Marvel special and it looked like a 1970s thing that would come up whenever they did like this one-shot movie or something, I was like, oh, what the hell? I saw the title, of course. I knew it was Werewolf by Night. I said, oh, shit. Are they going to take this stuff back to the 70s? And so I'm watching. It is a campy-ass, made like it was not even 1960s, 1950s horror film. Werewolf by Night looks tight, ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited. I'm excited. This is I haven't been excited for like, okay, yeah, I'll watch the Marvel. I'm excited about Werewolf by Night. I want to see what they do with it just based on that preview. It looked good. But it does look like a take on a 1950s horror film, campy horror film. And it worked to me. It worked on me, obviously. You can hear it in my voice. Yeah. Alrighty. But so of the previews I saw, Werewolf by Night is the one that really got me. Let's see. I've been watching the first season of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts. White and black comedians insulted each other in ways that would... Oh, my gosh. I tell people nowadays, I said, yeah, we used to insult each other all the time. We used to insult... Like, oh, well, black people always do it. White people always do this. Oh, we didn't care because we didn't racialize. Go figure. We were more open. We understood that people were different and it didn't matter. Let's see, the one where Nick Fury looks like a bump. Wait, what? I don't know. What you have you seen Turtles Forever? No, I have not. Didn't watch cartoons very much. I worked for Cinemark, said Cartoons and Comics, for 3 years. My favorite was seeing the Family Fridays. It's now a parking lot. Yeah, all the movie theaters I worked for are pretty much done as well. One's a church now, by the way. Boom Studios Power Rangers is only bad when they have guest writers like Sanaa Grace. Anything is bad if it's got Sanaa Grace. Skrulls aren't villains in the MCU. Well, apparently they are, sir. Werewolf by Night, Banana, haven't seen it. Don't know what that means. Werewolf by Night's going to be in black and white, 50 minutes in the 7th of October. Looks good, dude. Seriously. But Yeah. They're going to have to explain why they're suddenly... I don't think so. Mata. This is what I was talking about before. Just separate them. Write stories to be stories. Connect Captain America. Maybe mention something or other to Captain America. Link Thor to Thor. And have mentions here or there. But they really should stop trying to connect all of the series, all of the franchises, because Marvel isn't a franchise. Marvel is a studio. Thor is a franchise. They gotta start getting people out of that mindset that they're telling one long story. Think about what we just went through with the Marvel Phase 4. Marvel Phase 4 didn't work on one level because we're all trying to see how it all fits together. Like, it's all supposed to fit together. So where is the Avengers at the end of it that ties it in a knot? You know, we're looking for that, when in all honesty, it was exactly what I was talking about. Loosely based stories that, or their own stories that were loosely tied together. It's really what they should do, but do it better. Just do it better. So yeah, they really do need to kind of break us of that one storyline thing. Ton loves the MCU is trash. No, it isn't. Nothing to be excited for anymore. Kind of agree. Don't even really resemble the comics. Never did. Never did. But it doesn't have to. I'll point to, and I'll tell you why. You like the X-Men? You love the Claremont run? It's right here. It's not changed. Doesn't matter how many shitty X-Men movies they put out. Here it is. All the words are still there. All the pictures are still there. You like Chris Claremont's X-Men? Fucking movies didn't ruin it. The movies didn't do shit. You don't like the movies? Don't fucking watch the movies. But don't tell me it's ruined the comics, because I'll tell you what, I've read this, and you know what? It's still the same. It didn't all of a sudden turn into the script to the movies. And that's the way it is with all of them. Those movies don't affect the comics. What was it? And then they don't really affect the older movies too. Oh my gosh, the MCU sucks. I'll never watch the first Iron Man movie again. And if you ever say that, and nobody did, but that's on you. Because a crappy movie made now doesn't mean the older ones aren't good. And I see that a lot. I see that a lot with, oh my gosh, I can't believe that artist that did that awesome thing 45 years ago said this on Twitter. Therefore, I will never read another thing. You're not going to convince me that because Alan Moore is a freaking nut bar, his run on Swamp Thing isn't genius. You're never going to convince me of that. You're never going to convince me, even though Frank Miller has gone into the toilet nowadays, that the Daredevil run isn't one of the greatest things ever made. And you're never going to convince me that because Ben Affleck's Daredevil wasn't great, that his comics weren't great. So yeah, they never do. Let's see. Yes, for the first few shows, they based them on the classic sitcom. Oh, wait, I missed something there. Actually, Iron Man's first movie is closer to the comic book origin than most people realized. They did update the location, and you would have to for an update, right? Of his film before the movie came out in the books. Okay. Some people online have tried to say being woke and taking liberties with the comic books. Well, they're going to have to. I had this conversation, of course, before the Infinity Gauntlet comes out, or Infinity War. They're not going to be able to do the Infinity Gauntlet. They're just not. They haven't. The comic book, of course, had the benefit of, at that time, 30 years worth of Marvel history behind it. This doesn't. It's got to work with what it put out. The movies at this point only had the 20 movies, so let's bring in what we know and what we can do with that. And that's the Infinity War. That's how it had to be. But if you're not going to do the movie exactly like the book, then why do the movie? And I'm thinking, if you're going to do the movie exactly like the book, then why do the movie? Because we've already got the book. That being said, I'm a hypocrite on that, because sometimes I get mad when they change stuff too. So that's sort of simplifying, but I see your point, though. I disagree. So, hey, man, sometimes you're going to agree, sometimes you're not. That's what makes horse racing, right? Let's see what we got. Hearing you say the old issues are still the same makes me wonder, have digital comics ever been censored? I don't know. Well, obviously Battle Wang, right? After The Damned came out and everybody got all crazy about the Battle Wang, they decided that you're never going to see it again. So yeah, I guess so. I mean, if you go out and you buy, the sad thing about that is the second printing doesn't have it in there either. And I'm only saying that because it's an altered version. The only way you could get the way that it was originally made was to get that first issue. So yeah, I guess in some ways they have, Glenzer. Let's see. All the movies are going to do is just change the public and culture, have a bad light on these characters because the modern man won't read. Unfortunately, that's true to a certain degree. And that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true to a certain degree of modern comic book fans, even. Pull anyone from anywhere, says In a Disguise. Whenever they want, this is going to give ice cream to bad writing. Continuity. I'm not quite sure how to respond to that. Sorry. Don Rickles would have been canceled with it. Yeah. Within the first 5 minutes he spoke. For those younger viewers, Don Rickles was an insult comic. You probably would remember him as the voice of Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story, but he was a very good insult comic. To add on to what you're saying, Mark Waid may be a douchebag, but World's Finest is objectively good material, which shows he still has passion for the DCU comics in general. Yeah, and I would love to see a lot of writers kind of put Twitter down and just go back to writing. For as much as you hate her, I like Gail Simone. I like her writing. Like a lot of you guys, the first time she was like, oh my gosh, she's a good writer, was The Birds of Prey. Enjoyed that. Enjoyed Villains United. I liked her Batgirl run. So I know she's capable. I know she's very capable, but nowadays it seems like she's YouTube or Twitter commentator rather than writing. And it showed when she did Plastic Man. Plastic Man was not good, Gail. Wish I could say otherwise. Just wasn't. So the second printing censored Battle Wang. So Battle Wang is pricier than now. Yeah, the first issue of The Damned is like an $80 to $100 book. I want to see the comics on the big screen. I think the best way to do that would be animation. I would love to, like, when I watch an anime, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit more strict when I watch an animated movie because they can, in fact, do a straight up adaptation. And at some point in time, I think, you know what, just do it. Just put out the entire story onto that animation movie. I hate the fact that they make them 80 minutes, though. I think the fact that they make animated movies 80 minutes, they tell you they don't know who their audience is. It looks like they're going for the kids because a lot of the movies, even Disney movies, would be about an hour and 20 minutes. They would never go above an hour and a half because they knew kids don't have the attention span, but we do. And I think we're more the audience for these straight to video animated movies, especially. And if you're going to make it rated R, then obviously the kids aren't a part of the equation. Stop making it 80 minutes and tell the whole freaking full story. I agree with you guys as far as, like, if you're doing animation, go for it, especially if you're going to make it a rated R movie. I say unless you're a master adapter like pre-21st century Spielberg, the closer to the original, the better. Just look at DC animated. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're talking about that. The digital and later reprints of the Iron Man issue with the registration letter have been altered to either be standard resignation letter or scribbles. I have the original with the actual letter, which was actually a resignation from an artist, if I remember right. Was that book, or am I thinking right situation, wrong book? Well, this depends on comics company and sellers. Manga and novel comics sell a lot, so be professional, understanding that, and everything's going to do better, says Cartoons. Oh. All righty. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down a little bit to catch up. Let's see. People are willing to spend that much just to see Batman's junk. Go figure. Well, it's the first appearance of Batman's dick. That go figure has you know what? This is like that one issue of it was an 80-page giant. It was only printed in the UK, and it had someone like a baby got into a microwave or something like that. It's just one of those things. It's one panel. Doesn't really affect the story. Them darkening his dick doesn't hurt the story at all. But yeah, it's just one panel, and it goes crazy. Now that Batman and Robin are gay, maybe a double-barrel Bat and Robin Rob Wang pick is in the future. Let's see. It was Dave Cockrum. They put his actual resignation letter in Marvel with just the header to Stark and Jarvis. There you go. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Oh, no. Anyway, guys, we've almost been doing this for 2 hours. I certainly appreciate you guys hanging out. This is actually fun. I like doing I like answering the comments, but then, of course, answering questions is just chatting. That's a lot of fun, man. Seriously. Let's see. Oh, see, one more. I got MK's. I'll say one more, but this goodbye is going to be like an hour and a half. I don't. The family isn't even going to be home for another half hour. Who would you say has done Linker and Taboo Comics? DC Linker, DC or Marvel with that kind of stuff? Didn't DC do a book where Superman and Wonder Woman did a porn or something? No, what you're talking about is Big Barda. They didn't actually make a porn movie, but they were under mind control, and they were about to make a porn movie, but it never actually went through. They never actually did it. But yes, if you see the cover, it's like a $15 to $20 book now with Superman kissing Big Barda. Yeah, they're about to have a porn. They're about to film a porn film. He says Dave Cockrum after talking about Batman's dong. Oh, because of cock. Okay, I get it. All right. Oh, kinkier. I got you. Kinkier. Yeah. Who does the kinkier comics? I would have to go with DC, which is kind of funny. Somewhere in the 80s, DC and Marvel did a flop. If you follow the comics, now, of course, we all know DC Golden Age, huge story. By the way, I'm writing a script. I've got a whole series of videos I'm doing. I'm very excited about on the Marvel versus DC stuff. But Marvel and DC were two different animals. Marvel, of course, comes out fighting. They're the big dogs for a long time, from Superman all the way through. Yeah, Marvel tried. They copied people, gang. That's all they did. They had Human Torch and they had Namor. Otherwise, they were trend chasers all the way up. And of course, Captain America. But even Captain America didn't survive. The ones that survived were Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And so when the superheroes fell out of fashion, everybody started falling. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And they knew one of the reasons why they were doing that is because they were very family friendly. So they continued to go very family friendly. Along comes Stan Lee. God dang it, I want to write a comic book series the way I want to write a comic book series. And he creates Fantastic Four with a lot more mature themes. Now we can look back on it and we kind of, okay, it's Silver Age silliness, a lot of it, right? But back for the time, it was some serious stuff. In DC, they were the big guys, and Marvel wasn't really selling the way they were selling. So they were like, oh, okay, yeah, we don't need to do that stuff. It's a phase, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And so DC was known as the family friendly, easy to get along, go along kind of comic book company. And Marvel was the one that was known for their darker themes, the darker tones, the more mature storylines. And then somewhere in the 80s, I'm going to have to say it's probably around the Crisis on Infinite Earths, but a little bit before that, actually. Probably actually 1980 when when DC managed to poach Marv Wolfman and George Perez from a dictatorial Jim Shooter. That's when DC really started to flip the table on them. And by the end of the 80s, Marvel was the family friendly, doesn't really go out on a limb, plays it safe, while DC had Vertigo and Batman's back is broken and Superman's getting killed, and they're going darker. They're going more mature. They're going with the deeper storyline. Stuff like we're talking about him, Grant Morrison's Animal Man. You ever read that? That's a mind. of a series. Highly recommend it. So, and that's the way I think it's actually been for the longest. I don't think that's ever actually switched back. I think DC has always been more of the adult stories, while Marvel has kind of played it safe and been family friendly. So if I'm going to go kinky on which one's the kinkier, yeah, I would have to say it's probably DC, just based on, I mean, at one point in time, there was a lady who had sex with a plant man. So there you go. Let's see. Still say anyone involved with the coming up with or green lighting the idea that Superman be dead before starting the Justice League should be put in the Phantom Zone. I thought that was a bad idea too. Zack Snyder did not earn the death of Superman. If I would have not had it play out that way. Have a Justice League movie, go after Darkseid, save the universe, save the planet, blah, blah. Everything is good. And because obviously you can have, you can even include it where Darkseid releases Doomsday onto the Earth. Doesn't necessarily make it. I think you still give them the Kryptonian origin, just Darkseid being Darkseid releases them onto the Earth, and that's what kills. So after you have this big battle and Superman is revered, because by the end of Man of Steel, did you get the idea that Superman was revered? I didn't. So, okay, he died. Big fucking deal. You know, according to the world, according to all the stuff they said in Batman v Superman, I didn't get the idea that the world would miss Superman very much. Let's see. Class of the Lady based on the wife of the king of comics art. Oof. I don't know. For the king, Wonder Woman wins. Marvel Comics beginning doing well with the kids' scary stories, says Cartoon Comics. Yeah, I agree for sure. Plus, Constantine books were pretty damn adult. Yeah, once they hit the Vertigo years. And books like Swamp Thing and Constantine are what created Vertigo, because they were getting a little bit more mature than the average, than the DC universe proper. So they needed a place for them to go. So let's move these stories. So all the more offbeat, more mature stories went into Vertigo Comics. Even I do believe even Animal Man made it there once at a point. Zack Snyder didn't earn the right to do any DC movie that wasn't Watchmen, says Austin P. The echosexuals are the only letters still. I have no idea what that means. I don't even want to know. Anyway, hell, they'd want Superman gone probably these days. Anyway, once again, gang, thanks for hanging out with us. Tomorrow we're doing an auction again, testing it out. Our Tuesday's better than Saturdays. So please, by all means, stop by for that. Definitely need the help. Otherwise, also, let's see what else is going on Wednesday. You have the Geeky Puppet Shows stuff, so you might want to check that stuff out. I might be doing live streams and everything, although I think that's Gail's day off, and I would love to spend the day with her. She's been stressed. I mean, she's so stressed. I want to take her out and do something, although Wednesday's her first day off of the week, so she'll probably just want to hang out around the house. So, yeah, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, if you don't mind helping out the channel, there's a tip jar at Ko-Fi. Just go on over. Links in the description below. See, I'm pointing down. Really, I'm just pointing at my penis right now. Think about that. Trying to get you to give money by pointing at my penis. Anyway, if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the tip jar. There's literally something there called, hey, it's the tip jar. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy. I think I missed the button. Let me try that again. Okay, there we go.